the magazines that carry their truth. 25 years of the same steady hand, finding the ones who fell through the cracks of the plan. From Mitcham to Croydon, from London to the world, every flag he planted said, you matter, you're hurt, but there's a man who finds you in the car.
I tell you, I always love that song. Thank you, Mike. I always say thank you, Mike, because Mike LeBlanc created that amazing song, and I always get to enjoy it. I always party when it comes on. Welcome, my friends. Apologies for keeping you waiting. Let me try that another way. Thank you for waiting. How's that?
You're okay, brother. God bless you.
Here, right?
Thank you for having us. Thank you for extending your time to me.
No, thank you. I am grateful. I really am grateful. I'm sure my friends they're messaging me. We're live, my friends. We're live. Of course, if you're here, say hi. I don't know why my YouTube doesn't tell me when my events are on anymore, but I'll find it. I found it. Excellent.
Well, hopefully, y'all who's listening, y'all kick your shoes off, enjoy yourself, put your socks up, and all, you know what I'm saying. Sit back and relax and get a good conversation.
Exactly that. Like, relax, my friends. I wouldn't say, like I was saying to my friends on stage, Dr. Roxana and Paul. We're not normally here on this Wednesday. Normally, it's next Wednesday where we do being your authentic self in business. But today, my friends, we started this room, Famous on Purpose, a few weeks ago. We did one episode. If anyone who knows me, you know that my motto, my moniker is, we make you famous. So now I get to write the book of what that means, because I think it's a really important point for businesses, right? Being famous it's a requirement. Many people treat it like it's optional. If you want to build a successful business, I guess I worked out many years ago, in 2015 thereabouts, I worked out that unless people know who you are and they know and like you and trust you, then they're not going to buy from you. Simple as that, right? So that's why, to me, being famous, has been the thing I run with. I want all my clients to be famous. I want to make all my clients well known. I want to make my clients household names. It's a mutual thing. I don't know, Paul. I don't know whether your connection's gone funny again, Paul. But literally, if I can get someone famous, then it's much less work for me to sell you or what you do. Think of that for a second, right? If I can get you, think of a celebrity. They're famous, right? And they're famous for doing something. And if we take an actor, right? An actor is famous for acting in a film or in a program, but anything else they touch, people buy, right? So I would love for one of my clients to get really famous. When we come and say, like Dr. Roxana, buy Dr. Roxana's book, buy Paul's book, and everyone's like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to buy that book. That's fame, when fame really works for you. You can do good things. You can grow your business. I can say quickly. It's probably not true. I think being famous is all good. But here is a kicker, my friends. Here's a kicker. The kicker is that many people don't want to be famous. They're petrified of being famous. They run away from being famous, right? Mm-hmm. How you doing, Linda? Linda's the first to speak. Welcome, Linda. Always glad you're here. Of course, I do send my friends invites. And I imagine everyone is going to be here. Everyone that's here, you got an invite from me because I like to spend time with my friends, right? Dr. Gisette, I see you too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so always pop into the show support. I don't mind that at all, right? Of course. Look, if you got more time and you want to join the conversation, then the link is in the comment section of the event page. So do join us. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And also if you want a link, if you want me to send a link to your DM, just put it in the chat here. Don't send me a DM on LinkedIn because I'm not going to see it. I'm looking here, right? I'm looking here. So, right, like I was saying, my friends, if I got paid $1 every time someone said, I don't want to be famous, I would be a rich man. Seriously, right? I can see why people say I don't want to be famous, but I think people misunderstand what it means to be famous. They really when you misunderstand what it means to be famous, and you don't want to be famous. I say, but when we try to understand what it means to be famous, we all want it because we all want to be well known. We all want to be the go-to guy or woman in our field. Of course we do, right? So look, I've got a whole chapter structure for this book. So when I start with just setting the context, what does it mean to be famous? That's what we talked about last time. But this time we're going to talk about what is called the spotlight effect. In other words, the great fear that people have about becoming famous. What is it? Where's it come from? Why do people have these feelings? What can we do about it? How do we address them? Right. So it's all of that I want to talk about today. And then so as the weeks go by, we'll talk more about the technique, the technicalities. Because I think that's a separate chapter in itself, right? Because in 2026, fame is not just being on telly anymore. And when I was growing up, my fame was about you had to be on TV, on radio. Look, I'm not going to hide it. I still want to put you on TV and radio because I want everyone to know you, right?
Okay.
But today there's more ways to do it. There's many more ways. There's many. The internet has changed the whole equation. It's changed the landscape completely. Now, being famous now involves many different things, but we'll come to that in good time. Now, today, I think it feels like the mindset bit of being famous. Because the fear that people have of being seen, being heard. That's what the spotlight effect is, right? Now, people think that when you say I want to make you famous, they think it means that everyone's looking at them. Most of them they're under the spotlight. Guess what, my friends? It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And let me stop talking. Let's talk to Professor Roxana and Paul about their take on what it means to be famous. Of course, while you're here, drop us a comment, say hi, say something, tell us where you join us from, comment on the topic. What does fame mean to you? Do you actively seek it? What are the challenges? What are the good parts? What can we learn from you is my basic question, right? But before I carry on, Dr. Roxana, let's do ladies first, Paul. Let's do Dr. Roxana. Let's hear from her. Dr. Roxana, how are you doing? Oh, you're muted. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Excellent. You say you were muted, but you're fine now. So okay. So share with us. You're a famous person.
Oh well, thank you. That's I want that. I want that. But you know what? Fame or famous on purpose is not about chasing fame, though.
I agree.
Yeah, it is about becoming known.
Yes, I agree.
For the values, for the impacts,
yes,
for the transformations you have given to people. People remember you for what you have done for them. That's the impact you have created in the lives of others. That's where because it's not about chasing fame, but it's visibility, though. On the other way, But in today's digital world, many talented people remain invisible because they are maybe ashamed, they are shy, they don't want to see, uh, because they are waiting for permission. Let me say it
Yeah,
that way. People are waiting for permission. They want to be perfect, perfectionism, you know,
yeah,
or the right time. When is going to be the right time? That's never going to be the right time to share their gifts. The gift that God gave you, you want to share it as soon as possible. You don't even know who needs it. Meanwhile, others with less experience are aggressive, sharing their gifts. Okay, so you see, you are actually more intelligent, or you have a lot to give, but someone who doesn't have that shame goes out and speaks out, is loud about what she has. And they get clients, they get partnership, they get influence because they out there saying it. Okay, so being famous on purpose means intentionally building a personal brand. Do you
yeah.
understand what I mean?
I love
Intentionally
that.
building a personal brand, going out there, even go to YouTube, open a YouTube channel, start talking about it, start yapping, start
Yeah,
yapping about it, and talking what you're saying that
yeah,
reflects expertise, that reflects your values and the purpose.
yeah,
So really, it means sharing knowledge consistently. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Uh,
No, look,
Sharing people, so some people authentically.
mm,
I mean, building trust. When you are saying that you're building trust through visibility, and I don't even, let me tell you, I don't do all this because I'm probably one of those people who don't. But this is what I should be doing. I can tell
yeah,
you this now. I'm telling you what I should be doing, but I'm not.
yeah. No, look, no. Everything you say is true. Everything you say,
Oh
being
yeah.
famous. It's not about becoming a celebrity in that sense. It's not about being famous. It really
No.
isn't. It's about being of service. It's about
Hmm.
impacting lives. But
Yes.
again, I think
Mhm.
you make a very crucial point, which is the role of visibility, right? If no one sees you, no one knows you. If no one sees you or hear you, then they don't know you can help them.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Using platforms, you see, and technology strategically, just
yeah,
like we are using this now, using them, you can speak wherever, you know,
yeah,
turning experience into influence. So,
yeah,
experiences you have, turning, turning influence into opportunities. Because
I
when
agree.
you do all this, people see you, and when
Yeah,
they hear your name, they already know, oh, is that lady that always. So, that is
yeah.
what I'm
You
saying.
see that's a famous bit. That's a bit that interests me more, right? The fact that people get to know you and they know what you do, how you help, and they also know some of your values, your principles. I mean, anyone can do a business, right? But unless people know they can trust you, as you said, that's Roxana, right?
Yeah.
Then why would they want to do business with you? You don't do business with people that you don't trust. So think
Oh
about it. I'm
yeah.
saying,
Oh yeah.
and this
Hmm.
the fame thing is really all about getting the right people to know you're there
Oh
because
yeah.
they see you and they hear you, and then that way
Hmm.
they know that they can trust you. That's a
Because
long
it
and
could
short.
be in education, it could be in business, it could be wherever you are. The important thing is that this trust and like
Mm.
uh, has to be there before they start buying from you. The
Yep,
trust, like, and other things, they have to have it. You have to have it before they start buying from you. I'm
totally.
not saying I have
I
all this.
agree.
I
I
got a
agree.
long way to go to
No,
do this, but
no, we all do that, Roxana. We all do, right? I think
mhm.
that, again, there's another important point. Then I'll come to you, Paul. This. You mentioned we have to show up. We have to speak.
Sure, exactly,
We have
sure.
to. We have to speak. They actually have to see us, right? You
Hmm.
know, Dr. Lisa, I see you. Look, all my friends know what. My friends. know what I do. I say my genuine friends know what I do, right? And I'll
Mm-hmm.
call most of you my friends, and I just Lisa knows what I do, Paul knows what I do, you know what I do, because we've worked together, and we've gone. The first thing I'll say to anyone who has a unique solution is, let's do events so my friends can see you. Let's get let's get you people actually seeing and hearing you. See, but there's something called glossophobia, the fear of public speaking, which a lot of people suffer from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's real. And I say, again, I've been there, so and I can understand. And maybe that's a thing to everyone who's here today, right? We've all been through the I'm an introvert, because we are. When we're not doing shows, we we like our time to quiet to ourselves. And I pause, and as Paul was saying earlier, given the chance, he'd be resting right now, right? We'd all be minding our own business, right?
Oh, yeah.
Resting, chilling, working quietly. But see, you can't build a business if no one ever sees you. So you have to get over your fear of being seen.
You
Anyway,
see, the question is not being famous. It's what are you becoming famous for?
yeah,
What are you becoming
I love
famous? You
that.
just being
I love
famous.
I love that. It's true though. That isn't that the question. That really is the question.
What are you
Again, when I
becoming
say
famous for?
yeah, and I say when I say that, I only want to talk to you if you have a unique solution, something the world needs. That's the answer
It's
to that question. If you can't answer that question,
it's kind of
then
why.
what?
It's kind
Then
it
we'll
comes
give it up.
it comes to your why. Why are
Go.
you doing it? Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
You have to be doing it for
Yeah.
something that your
Yes.
heart bleeds
Mm-hmm.
for, or your heart breaks for. My heart breaks for my wife, and when I lost her in 20 years of marriage, you got to take that love somewhere. So I took it to that Kirk Minute Ministries, and I
Wow.
started just start doing it, because when she was on her deathbed, I was with her when she died, and I was with my brother when they was taking their last breath. They died 10 years apart, suicide and breast cancer. So I had to take that pain somewhere, because I had to come home and raise three kids that she blessed me with, and then I had my father, and he has cancer. So I couldn't lay down. If I fell, then they was gonna fail. So I knew I had to get up every day. When God give you a why every day, you'll get up and do the best you can. And I just want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
I finish the job that me and her started. So I just think I came up with a tool that's gonna help the world instead of hurt the world. And I just thinking, if you can build something that's constructive and that'll help somebody, I think you need to share that with the world. But until you fill your heart with love, and when you speak, flowing of living water comes out of your mouth, you don't need to do anything but work on yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I tell people to give from the overflow. So that's why I do what I do, and wrote the book and did the TV show, because I just want to get a piece of Jesus. Because when God deliver that mail, when He takes someone, because everything is temporary in life, you need to know how to deal with it. And if you don't know how to deal with it, it'll destroy you, and it'll destroy your kids, because your kids only gonna be as strong as you leave them, and that's your legacy. And I want to leave my grandbabies, even though I don't have any, they won't know their grandmother, but they gonna know her through me. And I want to make sure of that, and that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Have we lost any? So you're famous for on purpose. Any are we okay? We
Yeah.
see you have you there.
I'm here. So it takes me a while to click buttons, right? Jay, our storyteller, storyteller in chief. He's got a book about it as well. So glad you're here. Welcome. Look, Paul, it is, yeah, it's sobering, right? It's sobering your journey. It's sobering what you just shared, because
It's a slap in the face. For me, it was a slap in the face, and I didn't have people around me. God had to teach me through nature. It was like watching ants. He showed me ants, and I was watching how they work together. And he was like, "Y'all gonna have to work together, because your wife is not here." So it's like reinvigorating your life. You got to rebuild your life over, because the thing that you had in plan and place with you and your wife is gone, and then you got to start over. People don't understand. It looks a certain way from the outside, but when you get in that house and have to deal with that house, first that house being you, getting your temple in order, so you can lead these other babies and everything else. You can't lead anybody if you're not leading yourself to victory, and they got to have something to see. And I
it's
try
so
to provide that.
no, it's so true, my friend. It really is. Again, we don't set off to be famous necessarily, but when you have a solution the world needs, then we have to rise to the occasion. And maybe that's my point today, right? We have to,
Mhm.
and again, look, you can't serve anyone if no one knows you exist. And I'm glad. See, my friends get it. You're all my friends. Superwoman Margaret's here. How you doing, my good friend? One of my co-authors in my COVID anthology book. Roxana and I were talking earlier, Miss Margaret, that we're gonna bring us the anthology authors together and do some
Yes.
events. Because I know you're doing amazing things.
Hello, Margaret.
Yeah. So Margaret has her children's guide and workbook, parenting guide and workbook, for raising teenagers. So do connect
Yeah,
with her and do find out what those are, right? Dr. Roxana has 9 books. She tells me I only published 5, and then she's got
that's
9.
yeah. I think she has a show tonight. That's why Miss Martinez, Margaret.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna try to be and support what's going on with the teens that
Yeah.
she's doing.
Saving Teen Lives is called, right?
Yes,
Saving
I'm
Teen
proud
Lives.
of her. She's a mountain mover too, so I
Yeah.
hang around those mountain movers. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Good on you, Miss Margaret. Really. Again, look, I said Paul has his books. Essentially, I feel my connections, my family with authors, people who want to write books, people who've written books, because now that's the first step to fame. I say creating something that documents who you are. I say
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's where we all start. And as Paul said, the game is not necessarily being seen and the press follow you wherever you go. But we'll come to that because that may happen. If it happens,
Pray,
embrace it.
pray,
Is what I
pray
say.
for, pray for me. Pray for me. Because I get claustrophobic. I can't stand all that. But at the end of the day, I just want to be a blessing to somebody. If I touch one person, that's hey, I'm just one person. That means at least I left something behind for somebody. So,
No,
and,
no,
and
no.
that starts at home. It starts at home, really. And you can clean up
Yeah,
home. It'll just spew out. It'll
right.
spew out.
But again, I think that is an irrational fear that
Mhm.
everyone, the spotlight effect is feeling that everyone's looking at you. They're not.
Right.
They're just not. They're not. They're not. Think
They
of it.
don't have time.
No, they think about themselves. They're looking at themselves. They're looking at their stuff. They're worried
They
about
don't
their
have time.
interests. Yeah. Pause and distract. Well, Paul, if you have to shut your camera
No,
off for a second, feel free.
y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive me. My daughter was talking to me,
That's all
and
right.
I didn't
Look,
want to interrupt, but I was trying to hear what she was saying. I'm sorry
so
about that.
I'm very, literally, I'm staring at both of you, and I look at my speakers intently, right? So I tend to know when something's going on, right? So
You probably can look
ignore
at my
me.
face. Hey, you probably can look at this face. Hey, that's when duty calls. Hey, that's why
Yeah,
hey, daddies are the sacrificial lamb and mamas. So we
that
gotta lay
really.
down for you. We gotta lay down for the baby so they can
Yeah.
make life a little easier for them while we can to while we here.
I agree. Look, for this event, if you have to turn your camera off for a second, feel free. If you have to turn your sound off, again, do that, right? So otherwise, I'll do it for you. And there's something you find yourself off stage, you're like, why? It keeps me off
Hey,
stage. It's like, no, I turned your
I
camera
was
off.
looking like Yogi Berra, wasn't I? Hey boo, hey boo boo.
Right.
Hey, go
And
bring in a couple of kidney baskets.
let's come back to the point. And I say, I love a comment that I saw from one of my new connections, something like WebSys in technology, right? He says, most founders fear exposure, but invisibility kills faster. Totally agree with that. You can be excellent in a vacuum. You're very good at what you do. If no one knows, and still lose bias, because bias assume the solution already exists,
Right.
just not from you. This is the issue about being famous. This is it right here, right? It's nice. Dr. Roxana said it's about being visible. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
know if you're good and no one knows you exist. It does no one. No, you're not helping anyone. You can't help anyone. You know,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I mean,
Mhm.
people would know that there's someone can help them. They just won't know it's you because you
Yeah.
choose to hide,
Right.
right? And I said, and then Paul
It's
mentioned
comfortable.
something.
It's comfortable. It's comfortable being here sometimes, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you just work on your craft, you hide out the way and throw a little bit out there and say that's enough because
mm,
hey, sometimes just waking up is enough. I tell you, some days,
yeah.
some days just getting out of bed is enough. So,
It's
you
true.
know, when it's time, I call it divine timing. When divine
Mm,
timing come, you'll know. I tell
yeah,
people to trust their gut instinct.
yeah. No,
I
again,
understand. I
go.
I understand building in silence,
Mm,
okay, but not forever. Just build in silence, and maybe when you are matured, when you when you want to show the world what you have been building, you have to come out. You don't have to hide there because
I
if you
agree.
Yeah,
don't really come out, nobody will see it.
You, you,
right.
So you have
you,
to really come out sometime.
you know that saying, it's what you do when no one's watching that really
Hmm.
counts.
Oh yeah.
Again, I said people will see us doing these events and they're like, "Annie, you do events all day." I'm like, "Yes, I do." They're like, "Do you actually work?" Of course, I do all night. I'm saying they don't see when the cameras are gone and we're
Yeah,
working. All of them.
right.
Dr. Roxana, you're a math genius. I know. You teach kids every day, so you're working. Paul's videos
Yes,
don't make themselves. Paul didn't make 4,000 videos, as
yes.
if just like that. We all have to work. Again,
Hey,
again,
it
I,
wasn't like that.
I wish, and I don't we wish, right?
Yeah,
And I,
God.
look, and I say,
You know how
have
many times I wanted to quit? You know how many times I wanted to
you
quit
tell them
and say, hey, when people don't believe in you and what you're doing, you start talking to yourself. What you doing? Ain't nobody doing listening to what you doing. So that's when faith kicks in and you have to know it's gonna change and it's gonna get better. Everything gets better. It's kind of like
exactly.
good wine. Let it simmer for a little while. It's gonna get right. So
Yeah, no, I
I
mean,
just I just tell people keep going.
the only thing that I know that doesn't age well, but it will still allow is moldy cheese. I think Felipe was about moldy cheese the other day. They made him ill, right?
Uh-huh.
But what it's the same. The good things take long to mature.
Yes.
To
Yes.
Yeah.
ferment, to come together, right? Jay, Miss Margaret's talking to you, so I put that on the screen so that you can reply. Because it's hard for us to see comments as they go
And you have
past.
to deal with a lot of emotions. And people don't
Yes,
understand it's emotions in there, and that's the hardest part, getting over your own feelings about yourself. And that's why you got to be authentically you when you do that, because that's why a
Mhm.
lot of people that become famous don't be famous long because they weren't authentic to get it. So you got to be somebody else to keep it. And people don't understand that. Don't chase
yeah,
a track. We don't chase,
yeah.
we attract. So at the end of the day, whatever you got coming, you can be yourself and keep it.
Yeah, no, well said, Paul. Really well said. That is so true. I guess say the point is that everything takes time, right? Dr. Roxana didn't
Yeah.
get here in a week, in a day, in a month. We've been doing this.
Yeah.
She's been doing this for years.
Yes.
Of course, me technology comes along, as Paul said earlier. That helps you. That helps you. This thing that we're doing now came in 4 years ago, and suddenly, here we are, right? Until then, no one cared who any was. No one even knew I existed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Remember
yeah,
during COVID-19, it was 2019 that I started learning how to teach online. So I knew about some of these platforms, maybe Zoom. It was
mm,
during COVID because we were conditioned to stay home. And
yeah,
we have to stay home and still teach. And so we were forced to learn that things we didn't know.
mm,
But anyway, though they are helping us even now. So COVID
of
is
course,
over, but we are applying what we learned.
for
So
Yes.
sure,
these are the
for sure.
lessons we learned from COVID-19.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of these
That's a
lessons.
book. That's a book behind
That's
me, my friends.
and
You
one
know,
of the things I learned through COVID-19 when my wife, she lost her job, and that's when she caught cancer. So her insurance dropped,
mm,
even her burial. So she lost all of that, and then that's when she got cancer. So we had to get medical, and then I had to bury her out of my pocket. And she was being a manager for years. You see that? So when you put faith in something else besides yourself, you're gonna fail. I promise you. I'm
Yeah,
living proof. I'm
yeah.
living proof.
We all are. We all are. Now, Paul, when I think look, there's a point about many people turn their pain into their purpose, right? I don't say that lightly. Coach Curtis, I do see you. Welcome. So glad you're here. Please DM me about your next show. I can't see it because LinkedIn doesn't show us very well, right? Well, my friends, look, as Paul's talking, you have to imagine he was just getting on with life, right? Just getting on with life. Happily, life is okay. Happy family, life is going, and suddenly things happen.
Yes.
That makes you have to stop. And I think, that's when we have to ask ourselves, what is going on here? Some people realize that this is a lesson or even a message from their God, really. And this, they realize, God's saying to you, this is your mission. This is your gift. Again, bring that to our conversation today. Do you run with it or do you hide away from it? Again, I'm lucky to have, because I'm quite intentional who I'm friends with, right? I tend to befriend those who want to run with it, who say, I accept my mission. I accept my mission. I'll do what I have to do. I'll bring it to the world. I'm trying to help the world. That's what we're all here for. That's what we all do. So as I'm looking at the comments feed, I'm saying all of you, we're on a mission, right? Good on you. And saying, but of course, maybe I'm talking to the converted, to the choir, where you are all doing. Curtis is doing. He shows up every day, every time his show is on. He shows up at other people's shows. He shows up in places, right? Every day. Miss Margaret, showing up more and more these days. I know we lost her to she's still there, of course. Go brunch. That's why I nearly forgot Miss Margaret. And then of course Jay's here, literally on several shows. Say I can see you too, of course. Miss Lisa and Dr. Lisa, I call her Dr. Gisette. They're everywhere, right? This is what it takes. And we just accept our mission. Again, Linda. What I'm trying to say about Linda has a passion for her mission, but again, is born out of trauma, and they're using that to help others. I stop on Linda deliberately because I know Linda well enough. Linda does not like fame. She doesn't want to be seen. If she can do it quietly, no one even knows it's her. She'll be happier. Really.
Right.
She'll happily hide behind the camera, but we can't do that anymore. Which is why you see Linda on stages these days talking more. You see Linda writing a book. I'm saying, we have to embrace this thing called being famous, right? And it's a big part of it, as you said, Paul. This is about focus on the legacy you're building. Focus on your solution. Focus on your why. Focus on your what. That focus on who you're trying to help. I think we fear fame when we are egocentric.
You know what it is,
No,
brother. You
please.
know what it is. You fear your own greatness.
Yes.
Subconsciously, you might not think about it, but you fear that, hey, I can go out here and really change the world. But then what? Then you got
Yeah.
followers. Man, you got to show up every day, and people don't want that mail coming to them every day. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's a lot of pressure, and it's something to think about. Sometimes you just want peace, and I can
It is.
understand that too.
Yeah.
Ain't
It
nothing
is.
wrong with it.
Go on,
What
Dr.
you're doing
Roxana.
is, whether you know it or not, when you show up every day, you're building a personal brand. You're building
Yeah.
a personal brand. So the day you are not there, those people who come to watch you, they'll start looking for you. So where
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Paul? Where is
Yeah.
Paul? We haven't
Yeah.
seen him in
They
a
they
while.
call that they call that burnout, sister. He done.
They call, they call it burnout.
You see?
And when they don't see you, Paul, they will actually, you don't even know they were watching.
No,
They'll
Mm,
you
start
don't.
mm.
emailing
Yeah.
you,
No,
they
really.
text you and ask where you are.
Listen, look, that's such a big point. You see, years ago when I started my business, I used to go networking, business networking.
Mhm.
Literally business breakfast. 5:30 in the morning. And you have to go every week, right? And when you
Yeah.
didn't go, amazingly, it's a week you didn't go that people had a referral for you,
Yes.
and then because you weren't there, they go somewhere else. And so it's such an important point, Dr. Roxana. It really is. And if you're not, they don't show up, then they go somewhere else. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And that's like not showing up for yourself. You're not
Yes,
showing up. If you don't show up for yourself, nobody can show up for you.
Oh,
So at the
yeah.
end of the day,
exactly.
you
So
got to
yeah,
make that choice. Make that choice.
And you have to mind how you show up. Suppose someone or some people don't believe in you, Mr.
Right.
Paul. Suppose
mm,
Right.
somebody doesn't believe in you. It is the way you show up,
Hmm.
what irrespective of what they
mm,
say. No matter
Right.
what they say, you just show up for yourself.
yeah,
And
Because
that's
everybody
and
doesn't have to believe in what you say.
I
Everybody
thank
doesn't have
God
to
for
be.
women like you. My
mm,
Yes.
grandmother was like you. She instilled that in all of us. So she told us, don't worry about what anybody got to say. You
Oh
do
yeah.
you. At the
Don't
end
worry
of the
about
day.
don't worry about what they have to say. Maturity is actually getting up and doing what you have in your mind. And you
truly,
just don't worry about what they said and what they did not say.
yeah. No,
Because
it's so
it will
true.
do you much better. Or
Yeah.
you start sinking and you start hiding. If you're
Yeah,
listening to what
yeah,
they're saying, then you start
yeah.
hiding. You will never know why you're going to stop hiding. Why are you going to stop?
Hiding
You
does
know,
good. Look again. You two are making all the points I want to make, right? Look. I think the first part I will say when it comes to the spotlight effect is they're not looking at you.
right.
They're thinking of themselves. So stop worrying about what they think about you, because they're not thinking about you.
Right.
If they're
Right.
thinking about you, then you really are famous.
Yeah.
You
Right.
arrived.
Yeah.
Celebrate that bit, right? Celebrate it and take it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think work on yourself is, Paul said this
Yeah.
earlier. You have to work on ourselves. We have to work on our resilience.
Exactly.
I'll come back to that. We have to work on our self confidence and our belief in what we're trying to do.
Hey,
We should
some people so holy they cups got holes in them. You see that? They be pouring from that empty cup. So they better patch them holes up a little bit and get themselves together and then pour it up so they can share from the overflow.
look, make sure your cup is full. You fill yourself with confidence. And look, today's conversation is important because if you are ever afraid of being seen, being heard, becoming famous,
Mhm.
drop that fear. The fear is your problem. No, as other people, and maybe let's talk about what are we afraid of, right? We're afraid that we're gonna fail. We're afraid that they're gonna laugh at us when we make a mistake. We're
It's gonna
afraid that
happen.
everything that they can see through us.
It's
You know,
gonna happen.
I remember the days of
That's what I
audio.
said. We're afraid of what they will say. That's
Yeah,
exactly.
It is
So
gonna
you see,
happen.
they
So
will
at
say
the end,
something, and
but
that's what we
how?
are afraid of. But if
If
you
we,
can just forget about what they will say
yes. Hey,
and be yourself and get over there, because no matter what you do, they will say anyway. No matter what.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Go on, Paul.
I just said they're gonna talk about you regardless. No matter what you do, you can try to be Michael Jackson of the world, or you can try to be the lowest part of the world. You still gonna get talked
Yeah.
about. And
No matter what
Yeah.
you do, they will say.
I agree. We're losing your connection again. Look. Let me use this as a perfect example, right?
Mhm.
I go on, try again, Paul. Sounds
I'm
like you're
good.
back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Uh,
You're good again, right? It's again. Look, I do events where on an event,
I
yes,
think
things will go
I
wrong.
am losing you again.
Okay, can you still hear us,
I
Dr.
can hear
Roxana?
you.
Okay, no, so I can hear you.
Okay, okay. Can you?
Okay, yeah, no, we can hear you perfectly. We can hear you perfectly. We can hear you both. Right. My friends, look,
Yes.
I said things go wrong, everything you're gonna do, right? Things will go wrong. The tech issues at our events. I'm not even bothered. When I tried to start the event earlier, Paul and Dr. Rosanna were here they were here before we started, right? But my start video wouldn't load. Again, right. Did you even notice that I showed you my end video, not the start video? No. Paul
No,
Sanders.
nobody noticed unless you
I'm
told
right.
us. You see,
No,
you
I
told
know.
us then.
Only you know what goes wrong because no, they can't see through you. They can't see you. They can't. No one can. I'm saying let's drop the fear because it's not. It's unreal. It's unrealistic, and it's
Yeah,
silly. It's no. I'm using a simple word. But, it's ridiculous, right? Things go
yeah,
wrong. People don't even notice.
It's the stealer of joy.
exactly.
That's what it is. It steals your joy. Hey, people
And
that
but
kill themselves
it's
for less. Honestly, people that kill themselves for less over stuff like this, and then if you just wait a few minutes and just go with it, it'll be okay.
exactly. Look, and if we make a mistake, we say, right, hands up, something went wrong. But people will never notice, like you said, that unless you tell them. So don't be scared about going in front of them and just talking and just being yourself, right? It starts to
Yeah,
having that mission. Your mission your God-given mission in life, your mission, whatever you think it comes from, whether from your pain or from your genius. I'm saying, unless you tell people about it, they would never know. And even when you tell them, they still won't know. you
yeah.
got to tell them
And
again and again and
you see
again
that
and
that is
again.
you see,
It's like
Eddie, this
talking.
is
It's
what I
like
think.
talking
I
to a
think
brick
that
wall.
everybody has some kind of doubt in themselves, right? You
Yes,
see,
for sure.
everybody, you
Mm,
have to overgrow it. You have to
mm,
start
mm.
to overgrow it. Otherwise, that voice that's of self doubt will actually keep discouraging you from doing what you're supposed to do, from showing up, because
Oh no, no, wrong time to lose Dr. Roxana. I hope she comes straight back. We've lost your sound. I don't know where it's gone. But again, so this see you see what happens in real life. This happens in business as well, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like this: when you say I'll put it off to tomorrow. One thing
Mm.
about tomorrow, it never comes. Tomorrow, it
Yeah,
never comes. So you'll always keep saying it, and you're gonna feel the same way you did today about tomorrow. You ain't gonna, you're not gonna want to do it. So you might as well. I just say bite the bullet and go and get through with it. Go and get it done, and then you'll
yeah,
feel better about the situation. And it's not
yeah,
gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna find flaws all in it. It's videos I do that people think they perfect, but I still find flaws in them. I'm like, oh, you didn't see that right there. You didn't see that. I wasn't paying attention. But my kids are my biggest critics. So
yeah,
they always, hey, Dad, you seen that? You misspelled that word right there.
yeah.
So I
No,
have to
I'm
put
with
it.
you.
Yeah, I put it all in there manually. So it gets hard sometimes. You have to go back and fix stuff.
You see, I think
yeah,
there's an issue behind all that, Paul. Right? Look,
Yeah.
whenever we start something, you're not going to be perfect.
No.
That's life. That's just fact. That's not me trying to gaslight you. I'm just saying that no one's perfect on day one. It might take years for you to get perfect, for you to get
Hey,
better, better.
ask your wife that. You probably done became a better husband over the years. Hey, we don't start from there and end up like that. We end
Mm.
up better than we started out. Yes, Lord.
Yeah,
You might have been
yeah,
good, but you became great.
yeah. No, for sure. You see, but a lot of people think the time, you know, at the beginning, no one's supporting me. What can they support? There's nothing to support.
Right.
because they haven't
Right.
seen what you're doing.
Right. So get used to that. Get used to that thing. They're not going to be supporting you in the beginning. Even your mother ain't going to support you. I'm saying she
Right.
might love you, but she ain't going to because she's like, "What are you doing?"
I'm praying for you.
Let's again look. See, I remember when I started my business, right? So when I started my business, and I was like looking at my wife, saying, why are you cheering for me? Why are you caring? Why are you?" She's like, just go and if that's what you want to do, and you think you can make, you can serve people and make money from it, go do it, right? And
Right.
then so the one day I realized that she's not, she's not picking holes in what I'm doing now. She's not criticizing. If anything, she wants me to succeed.
Yeah.
That's why she's saying, just go do it. I can't help you. So go do it.
Yeah.
I'll give you the space and time to do what you have to do, right? That's what happens
Mm-hmm.
on day one. On day one, Dr. Joe said, I'm sure we all know this, right? On day one, no one's clapping for you, no one's celebrating you, no one cares
Mm-mm.
No
because
one
you've done
cares.
nothing,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's when you
But
start the journey.
but
Let me
you
say,
are so proud. But you are so proud of yourself. You want people to cheer you on right then and there. You like you didn't see me get up early this morning, and I started off my day like you never did it before. But once you start, you want people to cheer you on, pat you on the back. But that
you
don't come
do.
until you get
It ain't gonna
stronger in
happen,
that
Paul. It's not gonna happen, Paul. Now, look,
area.
if you want someone to cheer for you, as Paul said, work on yourself. Cheer, no, clap for yourself. Literally, no. There's a
Oh yes.
song.
Oh
There's
yes.
a song. Inga Rose, I think her name is, right? And then the song basically celebrate me. Literally, no one's coming. No
Now,
one's coming. Don't be
no
waiting.
one is coming to get you.
No one's
That's really
coming,
true.
right?
You know, you know what? That's
Eh,
why sometimes when it's my birthday and people are asking, why are you cheering yourself? Why are you celebrating? I said, I got to celebrate myself first
Yeah,
because I'm not
yeah, no,
trusting. I'm not
and
trusting anybody to come and celebrate me the way I want to celebrate myself. I want
no,
to
Yeah.
start
seriously,
cheering myself up because
seriously, no, really.
sometimes you don't even get anybody to cheer yourself the way you do it for you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, really. I said no, but we have to get to that place where we really are proud of ourselves. We love ourselves for
Yes.
what we're doing, and we cheer for ourselves. There's no other way of saying it. Celebrate you, right? That's
Yeah,
that's number one.
no one is coming to
Start
get
there.
you. No,
Yeah,
no one is.
Revelation, the book, the Bible said, "Come back to your first love." That's you, you and God.
Yeah,
Y'all come back to you and start working on you, and I guarantee you will change the world after a while.
Yeah,
see, when you start winning, you'll be amazed. All those people who didn't care suddenly they're like, "Help me, talk to me, show
Uh,
me." They want
now
to know
you
how
know
to done it, right?
they'll be
And
watching.
that's
So
they're cheering for you.
I'm
now
glad
you
I
see
recorded all
somebody
my
has been
videos. I
watching.
tell them to go watch my platform. They'll be all right. It might
That's
take
it,
three or
Paul.
four.
It
It
really
might
is.
take about a week. It might take a week to go through it, but they'll get the point.
Yeah, I'm saying that. We have to create that consistency of showing up and doing, of creating, of serving. That's
Hmm.
what fame really is, right? And Paul mentioned
Yes.
the legacy earlier. The question that when you speak of legacy, people think it's what happens when you die. No, it's what happens when you're alive. It's what we're doing now. What legacy are you leaving? What tracks are you leaving? What receipts are you creating?
Hmm.
Who are you serving?
Hmm.
I'm saying that's what fame really is. Now, when we
Yeah.
create that recognizable picture of who we are, how we help, who we do, how we be, as my friend Dr. Ava used to say, right? Like that. That's what fame really is. Now, I've mentioned the negative parts. I mean, literally, yes, depressed might come. They might hound you. But let me tell you, we're so far from that. I wouldn't worry about it, right? But if the praise do come for you, look, Paul mentioned something very important again in passing. It's not in passing, it's very important, right? It's authenticity. Who are you really? Right?
Yeah.
It said if you try and build a successful business by being, by lying about who you are, they will find out. That's
Yes.
that's not
Yes.
authentic. I'm saying we have to create a business, a service, a solution that's aligned to who we are. Right. That way, even if they do come and look, they will see that we are genuine.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
people. The part of the reason they want to hide is because they're not genuine.
Right.
And again, we can't help you with that. If you're not genuine, they will find that eventually. You will unravel eventually, right?
Yeah.
So this is about working on ourselves to be who we say we are. I'm
A
not
lot of
saying.
people. A lot of
Go.
people copy and paste. A lot of people copy and paste things. You remember there's a group called Nearly Vanilli,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
of course.
they lip sung,
Couldn't sing.
but you see,
Couldn't sing.
they couldn't sing. So at the end of the day, it's gonna catch up with you. Like I said, you're gonna have to chase it to keep it. So just be yourself, and that way you can enjoy the things that come with it. Yes, Lord.
Oh no, that's such a good example, Paul. I love that. And I
yeah.
really, Paul
Mhm.
Milli Vanilli. The song got to number one. Everyone was like, "No, you're a fraud." They never lived it down. Even when they came back and said, "No, we sang this one," everyone like, "Nah, we're gone. We're out of here."
that
Speak to yourself.
airplane went down and crashed and burned real quick.
Yeah. So, but then you find that many musicians years ago, Paul, in their concerts, is just play a CD. They used to play a recording and and do that joke thing, whilst charging the audience thousands. They wonder why all of that has died. You can't make money by doing doing things the old way, right? Being genuine is so important. Being genuine. Look, I'm not saying show them your warts and all unless you must. I'm saying being genuine just means have kindness in your heart.
Yes, it's kind of like AI. It's kind of like AI. AI is a great tool if you can take your authentic self and use AI with it. It'll enhance you in ways that you couldn't believe. But if you just let AI do
Influence
its
with
own thing, it
integrity.
has no
Yeah.
guidance. It has no
Yes.
guidance.
No,
So, so
it's
at
so
the end
true.
of the day, it's how you use things that you have to make yourself better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Go on, Dr. Roxana. I'm aware your time is short as we carry on,
Yes,
right?
I know. I'm saying that it's influence with integrity. That's you have influence anywhere. You just have that integrity. You impact others with intention.
Yeah.
That's you. I mean, you are visible with value. You want to
Yeah.
give value. That's the reason why you're showing up. You're not just showing
Yeah.
up with that legacy with purpose. The purpose that you use, the reason why you are showing up there. I remember that you talked about losing your wife and you had to take care of three children to survive.
Hmm.
It's that is
Mm,
the one to give value to them, and you can't do it. I mean, there's no way you can just shy away from it.
mm,
Hmm.
So
mm.
yeah, so the purpose is not whether someone is famous. That's not
Hmm.
what we're talking about. The question
Yeah.
is, what is that person becoming? What are you becoming famous for?
Yeah.
What are you becoming
Yeah.
famous? What are you known for? What kind of problem are you solving?
Hmm.
What kind of people are you serving or
Hmm.
serving others for? You've been known for creating opportunities what other people can enjoy. So
Hmm.
what opportunities are you creating? Okay, what differences are you making? You are being famous for a purpose. So what
Hmm.
are you famous for? So the purpose of you being famous, that's just what we're talking about. Visibility with value. So what is the value? What is that value? Otherwise, you're not just going to come out there and start shouting in the wind.
Mm,
What is she doing? I mean, what is she giving out? What is that? What should we listen to him or her? Why should we listen to him or her?
yeah.
We,
That's
Yeah.
it's a movement.
yeah,
It's a
we,
movement that encourages our professionals.
I love
It's a
that.
movement that
I love that.
encourages entrepreneurs. Famous
I
for
love,
what?
I love that. To being famous, it's about creating a movement for a
Yeah,
cause.
yeah.
I
famous
agree.
for what? Doing what? I mean, what are you
And I
just doing to get that fame?
Mm,
And I tell people, for me, it was I wanted to be the best son to my father. I wanted to be the best father to my kids, and I wanted to be the best husband to my wife. And I was able to achieve all those. Well, I don't get 18 years old come July the 28th. So I still got to
wow.
then. But then I can just kind of throw my hands up and give me a little pat on the back and do my little daddy dance, and then
You can. You
give
can.
me a steak dinner. And hey, and I can
You can
take
do that
off.
tonight anyway, Paul. You can do that today, my friend. Every day we wake up, it's another day that we get to serve, and when we do,
Yes.
we should really give ourselves a round of applause. We really physically,
Mhm.
genuinely clap for yourself.
Oh
So
yeah.
you see,
I got to
yes,
do an arm clap. One arm is holding the phone, the other arm is hitting the meat. You know what I mean?
Paul.
You don't
Everybody.
wait.
I
You
remember
don't
my
wait for anybody to clap for you. You can
no,
start clapping
no,
for yourself.
exactly.
I said that. I say that all the time because I said it. No one is coming to get you. If you are
Yeah,
waiting for the
yeah,
world to start cheering you up before you get up,
yeah.
you are wasting your time because
Yes.
Truly.
people are just going to be waiting to see
Yeah.
how you fail or how you
Mm,
succeed.
You know,
How is
so
it?
I remember my friend Lolette, you know, her company is called One Hand Can't Clap. So Paul, one hand can't clap. I'm just saying.
See,
Right.
soon as I get off of this call, I got to get a video up for the day. So it's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
something. It's
yeah.
always something to
No.
do. It's always
Like,
something to do.
you know, so when I say we're nearly an hour in, and I try and keep my shows to an hour to respect your time, my friends, and to respect
Oh
our
yeah.
time.
Oh, you fine.
I have only maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I need to.
It's
Yeah.
always a beautiful time on here with any. Hey, that's my buddy. He keep it real. Hey, so he keep it
Yeah.
real, fellas.
yeah.
That
You
is
know,
so.
we tried doing the show. The first one, this could be where I lost my co-host, right? I think no, it's not we. I was given instructions, right? Say this, then say that. I'm like, I don't work like that. It's a natural
That's
conversation.
like, hey, you got control issue. Hey, he got control issue.
I have to say. I have to say what is in my mind.
It didn't
It's
align with.
okay. Hey,
Here's the thing, Paul. It didn't align with me. Number one, I just didn't. That's not how I talk. That's not how I
you a
work.
father.
You
You a
know. So, but
father. You
I
have
think
to
that.
have some control.
Well, I think number two really is that there was no space for for my guests
Right.
on the script, and I was just like,
Yeah.
this just feels odd. So I ditched the script right from I started. I said, yeah, I'm going to keep to the script. As soon as we started, I'm like, forget that. Because he just didn't, you know, I think maybe my point here is that what you do has to align with you. It has to be who
Yeah.
you are. It has to work with,
Yeah.
you know, your values, your personality, your approach, you know, and go on,
And
Hey,
you
Dr.
tell them that your show is also fun. So we have
Yeah,
to have fun while we're having show. Or there's a show where we also have fun.
yeah,
So
I agree. I
it's
Cause
not
agree.
what
just
they
a
say,
straight jacket.
one band, one sound. If you got
Yeah,
one band and
No.
one sound, and y'all getting them instruments hitting, like James Brown said, it sound good. Then let it flow, let it go.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, you just gotta let it be.
It's not going to
Look,
be a lecture. It's not
no,
going to be
no,
a
no.
lecture.
I'm not. I don't do lectures. I make notes. I made notes for today, but I haven't even looked at them once. Right? I know because you know. I think you have to know what you want to do. You have to know now your why, your what. You know, you have to know them inside out. You know, it's not. It's not a performance. It's not pretend. It's not acting. You know, this is the real you.
It's
When it's
not a
the
lecture. So you come and have fun while you are doing your show, though.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
because you
But
being
I think
you.
that
At the end of the day, you just gotta be you. If you,
yes, that's the
it's
thing. You know that.
simple.
That really
Ex-
is it. You know, you have to be you, but then that you takes on many different parts. It takes on loving your audience, loving what you do, loving your speakers, loving your staff, loving everyone related to you. You know, loving even those who you pay. See, a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah.
people in business don't want to pay anyone. I'm saying, don't be like that. God's not gonna thank you. God's not gonna like you. Like money, we can argue about this one day if you really want us to. But money is to be exchanged. Money is a
Yes.
currency. You know, it passes between people, right? If you
Supposed to
hold on to
flow.
it,
It's supposed to
not
flow.
really,
That's
seriously, you
why
know,
it's
if you
called currency. It's in the
And,
word
it, and
currency.
I just
Flow.
tell them that being famous on purpose means that we're intentionally building a personal
yes,
brand. And
mm,
you can be laughing, you can, but you're still teaching. I'm still learning.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can,
yeah.
yeah, I'm still learning why you are having fun.
I'm learning from you.
Sharing knowledge
I learn
consistently.
I learn from
Yeah,
all of you too. You know,
I'm
Dr.
learning
Roxana,
also what being authentic anyway, even though you are sharing. I mean, I still understand you're still being authentic. You're still being you.
yeah,
Yes.
You're not
yeah,
coming out to
yeah,
lecture us, and tell us.
yeah,
Well,
No.
for all the listeners, it's Zechariah 12 and 8. He said, in that day I'll make the lowliest of you like King David.
mm,
That's now. That's now. That's when you decide to get up and say, I'm going to take life by the horns and he'll give you strength. But you got to believe that. You got to
yeah.
believe that.
Truly believe that, you know, it's your duty, it's your legacy, it's your mission to be who you are, doing what you're doing. That's the thing deep down. Dr. Roxana, before you go, I guess now this goes to you as well, Paul, and those in the audience.
Yeah.
You know that time between when no one cares and when they're clapping for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They see that
You see,
you're getting
my hands are
something
wide apart. That could be years, for something 25 years, for
because
something 20 years. Now,
yeah.
no, how do you manage that time yourself, Dr. Roxanne? How did you manage the
Lonely.
gap
It's a
between?
lonely time. It's a lonely
Hey,
time. Is it?
Tell us, tell
Is
us, tell us, tell us, tell us.
See that time when no one wants to help you, it's a process. So you are just going through from one end, the beginning, and to the end. But from the beginning to the end, that's a lot of learning. So it's
Hmm.
a time for you to learn a whole lot, build who you are, develop who you are, irrespective of who helps you or not. With technology, you learn. Even all these times, we're learning how to use technology strategically. Even right now, we are creating a meaningful impact into others. We are being authentic, even though at that time, that's when you discover what is inside you, who you know, when nobody's coming to get you. And then when they see that you're there, they're coming to help you, or, coming to maybe get help from you. You have
Hmm.
already developed, gone through a lot. It's a
Yeah,
process which
I
you
like
have
that.
it's a learning curve. Through the
Hmm.
learning curve, maybe in the middle of the curve, you probably don't see anybody. Yeah,
I
but
like
when you graduate or when you are near graduation, and then you see a lot.
no, it's so true. Again, if you ever look at the learning curve, it goes up very quickly, and then
Uh,
then it goes flat. That's how it looks on a
oh
graph.
yeah.
But in reality, we've also seen a graph that really happens where it goes, you go up, you go down, you go back up, then you go down. That's the reality of
and
of
and then
growth.
during the ups and downs,
Hmm.
maybe nobody does. Maybe at the up, concave up or concave down, you probably don't
Hmm.
have anyone shouting for you, hollering. That's why I said nobody's coming to get you. Okay, you
Yeah,
might as
yeah,
well start
yeah.
clapping you for your. At that stage, you are the one clapping for yourself.
You
You are the
must.
one
You must.
prepping.
You
You to
must.
stop it. You don't want to hear what that's pretty, because really, if you're not mature, then you stop hiding. You start hiding, and what they are saying will put you under. But when
Hmm.
you know who you are already maturing. It doesn't matter what they say. Anyway, you just keep on going.
No, I
All
agree.
right. So that's when
I agree.
maturity takes. Yeah.
Look, in that learning process, Dr. Roxana, I'm sure you and Paul will agree, we make mistakes, loads of them.
Oh
We
yeah.
learn most from our
Exactly. That's
mistakes.
what
I'm
I'm
saying
saying.
embrace your mistakes. Another thing I would say,
Yeah.
embrace willing to
Yes.
give you some feedback. They want to give. Anyone wants to give
Yeah.
feedback on your journey, take it.
You
Go on,
yeah,
Paul. You're
you
missing yourself.
you
Paul,
fail
you
and
need
fail
it.
and fail. You keep on failing
Exactly.
and you keep learning. Provided you don't give up.
Exactly.
That's the time to fail. You fail, number
Yeah.
one, you keep on failing, but you
Hmm.
don't give up. That's all. It's a failure
and if you
time.
never
But
try,
anyway,
if you never try,
by
you'll
the
never
time
fail.
you succeed, you have learned a lot from your failures.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no, again. I don't know if you want to add to that, Paul.
Oh
But
yeah,
I'll say this.
I
Go on,
just
Paul.
if you never try, you'll never fail.
you will
And so
Hmm.
never
you
know.
and
Yeah.
when as you're failing, you can kind of laugh. I do. I laugh at myself.
Yeah.
Boy, what was
Yeah.
you
Oh yeah.
thinking?
Uh-huh.
And it
Yeah.
kind of
That's what I'm
refines you.
saying.
It
It's a
kind of
learning
helps you.
curve.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Within the curve, within those curve, anybody. You see, those
Mm.
during
Yes,
the curvature, you don't see anybody. But anyway, you keep on going, provided you
Yeah.
don't give
yes,
up. Because you know what?
yes.
If you give up in the middle of the curve, then you haven't achieved anything.
You
Right.
achieve nothing. Look, 8 out of 10 people will give up just before success. They
Hmm.
literally give up just before the success they've been working so hard for is there in front of them, right?
Yes, yes.
A lot of people say don't give up. It really means something. Don't
Yeah.
give up on yourself because I'm not saying don't learn when it's time to change, right? Sometimes it's time
And
to
when you get it, they be like, "Oh, you blew up overnight. You be
yeah.
overnight. I've
Oh,
been doing this 5 or 6 years.
the
What you?
overnight the overnight
Where
success
you
you mean
been?"
for the overnight
Yes,
success, the one that
You
yes.
never
know what?
happened.
You know one thing also that makes people give up when they start comparing themselves. Suppose I start comparing myself with somebody who started learning about business maybe when
Yes.
they were born or 10 years apart. Maybe I just
Yes.
started. And then
Yeah.
when you start comparing yourself, that is the beginning of failure
Yeah.
because
And
now
that's
you are
I,
not
I agree.
yourself. Yes.
I agree. You know, look, I saw a post the other day with my friend William Plange. No human is useless is a thing, and the post was basically him looking at his phone, and the caption was, "This is me reading another rejection email from a potential from a potential sponsor." You know, so Dr. Roxana, I agree with you. I think that look, we are part of the problem. I've said this before we started to you and Paul, right? Because on social media, we only show the good parts. We only show the
Yes.
wins. We only show the ends. We only show the glorious parts, right?
Yes.
Now, people don't. No one gets to see the journey. No one gets to see the hard bits. The bits where we're crying, literally. The bits where we're laughing at ourselves. The bits where
Yeah.
people are saying to us, "Give up. You can't do this." But we know they were there, right? You know, maybe my point is, don't accept everyone has a glorious journey because no one does.
Mhm.
Number
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
one.
why I want to do
Oh,
a
yeah.
reality show. I want to do a reality show one day, and they can follow me around with the cameras and see how my life is. It's raggedy and good.
I hear you, my friend. Like, look, you know, and I say, one, so no one sees the pain that we go through, but no, I think also, I would say, go big. You're not going to learn from your comfort zone. You're not going to learn from doing the same thing over and over. You're going to learn from doing new things, different things better, things differently. Right? And unless you are brave enough to say, it's look. Here's how I live. And again, I love to hear what you and Dr. Son have to say, Paul. Right? You see, every day I wake up, I ask God, what am I to do now? What is it today for me? Right? And and go, say, you hear a voice in your head say, "Any, do this show." Yeah, okay, I'll set it up. I'll do it. Right? A lot of people will run away from their new ideas, their bigger ideas, their better ideas. Oh, I haven't even started yet, and I haven't made that work yet, so I can't do something else. You can do something else. That voice in your head is you saying to yourself, your God saying to you, this is a better solution than what you had. Chase it.
Yeah.
Make it work. Think about it, work it out. Work it out. Again, I can even use Paul as a perfect example, right? Paul, when he started now, Paul's enterprise is called Kirk's Minute Ministries, right? Now,
Yes.
I can well
It's
believe when Paul started, it was minute videos, right? But if
yes.
you watch videos
Yes.
today, they're 3 minutes and more
Yeah.
because
They,
it's
they only
more
gave me so long. They only gave me 90 seconds in the beginning, so I had to kind of put it in there quick, but then they started moving it to
right.
3 minutes. So when they moved it to
Exactly.
3 minutes, it gave me a little more space to give it a little more information. So, you know, it's trial and error. We crash and burn. It was kind of fast, but I'm quick with my mind.
That's
My
it.
mind's a
That's it.
processor. So, and I got a bunch of
That's it.
messages that I'm trying to get out there. So,
Yeah, no, but this is everyone's journey. That's what Roxana's exactly saying. That she started doing maths,
but
accounting years ago, maths,
I got to
and
throw out
then
my
becoming.
logo. I gotta throw out Go Get It University. It's not gonna go get itself. You see that? I need Go Get It University and it's Kirk
Yeah,
Minute Ministries.
yeah,
Y'all, hey, enjoy
yeah.
yourself. It's on now.
If you go get it, my friends, the fame will come, and maybe look. I think let's work towards the end, right? So look, when you serve people and you get known as a person who serves people, the money will come. Trust me. Take it from me. Right? If you're famous and you're known for having played a good part in a film, being a good sport, being in a winning sports team, the money will come. Don't worry about
Right,
the money. Focus on doing the right
right,
things about people, right? And with
right.
time, the money will come. I promise you. So
Yes,
don't be scared that I don't really want money. You want money. You do. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you want money, right? And
yeah.
I,
And you want to eat. You want to eat good. That's all I'm gonna say. If you like eating, yeah, you might want to have some paper. It's just what you do with it. It can destroy some
Exactly.
people.
You can help
Yeah.
people more. When you got money, you can help people. Take it from
Mhm.
me.
Yes,
The more money you have, the more you can, the more love you can spread. Literally.
yes,
You know,
Yes,
so many of us struggle to help ourselves. Let's help other people. You know, so let's not be scared of earning money. Let's embrace the mission. The rest will fall into place, right? Embrace the mission. What turn up every day. Live that mission. Beat your fears. Forget your fear. Now, beat your fears. You have to somehow get over them, right? And, look, you see me in front of you today. If you come to me 4 years ago before this event started, I could not speak in public. My wife has to tell you today that I stammer. If you listen to me enough, you see me stutter. And I can literally be stuck on words. I really can, right? But I trust myself enough. I've done enough of the work, and I'm just me to just talk. I'm here because I want to be here. The mission is greater than
Moses. Hey, we call you Moses. We're gonna call him Mo. He had a stuttering tongue. He said, "Who made that
Yeah.
tongue?" You see,
Yes.
he got that tongue
I
together.
stammer.
Boy,
I
look at it.
cannot lead. I'm a stammerer.
Yeah. No. So I can stammer and be hesitant on words every day. But when I need to speak clearly, I do, right?
Yeah.
And that's whatever your hang up is, work on it, get over it. Really, I don't say that lightly. Tackle the issue, work on yourself, give yourself the confidence to know that you got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it hurts when you're going through it, and you might be losing somebody and grieving somebody. Tell you to go ahead and work through it. You don't want to hear it at the time, but that's the best medicine that you're gonna ever taste. Faithful are the wounds of a friend.
Well said. Look, I want Dr. Roxana to go at the end. Let me show you a quick video. Let me show you a quick video that hopefully brings all our points together. It's very short.
Okay.
It's a short. So after that, then we'll come back and say bye to you, right?
All right.
Have you ever heard of the spotlight effect? Well, in 1999, psychologists Thomas Gajlowicz and Kenneth Savitsky discovered this now famous phenomenon. They conducted a study asking participants to wear a Barry Manilow t-shirt, he's a famously hated musician, while walking around the college campus. And they were then asked to estimate how many people noticed their embarrassing shirt. Now, the participants constantly overestimated the number of people who noticed the shirt. And the researchers found similar data in other studies that they conducted. And they concluded that
that's so odd. I don't know why there's a song behind it. There shouldn't be a song behind the video. That's crazy, right? I don't know what is it again.
I got the logistic of it. Yes, Lord.
This is the reality of doing anything, right? Things will go wrong,
You never, and it's technology though. So
exactly, you just you move on, right? And no one's died. No one's died today.
Don't cry over spilled milk. Don't cry over spilled milk. Get a mop it up, and keep it pushing.
Yeah, exactly that. So I'll find. So here's another way. I'm going to show you the video instead. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a screen share. Maybe I should have done this in the first place, right? So here goes. Right. Restream. Screen share. I'll probably have to go back to the start of the video. Instagram, that's the one. Right, okay. Right, let me refresh that so I can start at the beginning. Okay, here goes.
Spotlight effect. Well, in 1999, psychologists Thomas Gajlowicz and Kenneth Savitsky discovered this now famous phenomenon. They conducted a study asking participants to wear a Barry Manilow t-shirt, he's a famously hated musician, while walking around the college campus. And they were then asked to estimate how many people noticed their embarrassing shirt. Now, the participants constantly overestimated the number of people who noticed the shirt. And the researchers found similar data in other studies that they conducted. And they concluded that people often think that other people are paying way more attention to them than they actually are. So this is the spotlight effect. The idea that we often feel like there is a spotlight on us and everyone is watching and judging our every move. Some people find the spotlight effect particularly overwhelming, becoming very self-conscious and anxious in social situations, which can lead to negative self-talk and low self-esteem. So how can we overcome this? Well, there's a famous quote from Eleanor Roosevelt that might help. You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. The secret to overcoming the spotlight effect is realizing how rarely others are actually thinking about you, because ironically, they're usually far too busy thinking about themselves, thinking that the spotlight is in fact on them. Have you ever heard of the spotlight effect? Well, in 1999, psychologists Thomas Gajlowicz and Kenneth Savitsky discovered...
All right. Stop sharing. Hold on. I'm trying to work out. Let me try and get myself back onto... Yeah, okay, we're back again, right? You know, hopefully you got the point of the video. No, it really is. Stop looking at yourself. Look out there to the world. Instead, right? Rebecca,
Yeah.
welcome, Rebecca. Thank you for joining us. Rebecca says, your today's success is a result of the many times you almost gave up in the past or gave in the past, right? And it really is. And I say, Rebecca, that's golden, right? I'll probably put that in my book. I'm writing a book about quotes. So I love that. So what we'll do today is it's a reflection of the work we've put in, right? If we don't
Yeah.
show up, if we don't actually do what we say we do, then success is not going to come. Whereas if we put it in, success will come. It's guaranteed. Dr. Roxana and Paul, I'll give you the last word. How do you want to leave it today? What's the big takeaway you want us to leave here with?
My big takeaway is this. I'm just gonna say what I do every day for
Yeah.
me to get through. I wake up and I look for the sunrise and I pray that I see it set, because at the end of the day we don't know how much sand we have in our hourglass, so to speak. So while you have daylight, there's the Bible say, work, because no man work when it's dark. So while y'all got today and you are living and breathing, go out and be the best you can be.
Yeah, I like that. Nice and sweet and practical. I mean, who else can you be, Paul? No one,
Only
right?
me. You see that?
Only
I'm
you,
kind of
right?
cheesy, but I'm okay. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? A little cheesy every now and again. It's all right.
Professor, Professor, now,
Yeah.
what's your final message for us to take away today?
Yeah. Being famous on purpose is just being matured, maturity to be just authentic whenever you're doing something, whether anybody's paying attention or not. Be consistent
Yeah,
without people actually clapping for you, because they may not be clapping for you.
yeah,
Just know that you can do it, and purpose to do it for yourself, for your own good, not because people are going to be cheering you up. And also trust that God will help you.
well,
I always
well,
ask for divine intervention in whatever I'm going to do, because if I
well
have
said.
divine intervention, no matter what anybody does.
Yeah, yeah. And my friends, Dr. Roxana is so right. Literally, they're not going to be there to cheer at the beginning. They'll be there to cheer at the end. But that's when you get to the end and you've done, you've done something. You've done something meaningful that impacts lives, right? And don't worry about that. But just keep doing every day. Keep doing what you know you have to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
In good time, in good time, when you serve enough and you've learned enough and you've become the person that does what you do, that's when you get famous. Don't worry about being famous at the beginning, because you're not. No one cares. Take it from me.
All
No,
right. So thank you so
join us again. I'll talk about the technicalities of getting famous, because there's many
much.
different mediums that we need to talk about. We need to know social media. We need to talk about search. We need to talk about networking. We need to talk about even AI these days, right? There's many different bits that we need to address. Now, do you go on TikTok or don't you? That's a different conversation for next time, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, you two.
Thank you. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
God
everyone,
bless
for
Thank
y'all.
you.
joining us as well. Hopefully, you've enjoyed the show as much as I have. I really have enjoyed my two friends on
Oh,
stage.
I enjoyed it. I like the fun and everything. See, you have
So,
fun while I'm doing a show. That's what I want.
okay. And I say, Dr. Roxana and I will be back soon with our show about about our book, the one you see behind me, Lessons We Learned from COVID. I think the book can help people who are going through Ebola as we speak. That's a pandemic in itself, right? That's
Yeah,
not what
we need to make sure we talk about that book. We don't forget it. We don't
we do.
sweep it under the rug. We suffered for it. We
I, no,
want.
I agree. Look, I mean, look, I make my clients love their books for a lifetime, because your book is your baby forever. You can't forget
Oh,
about it. But obviously, I can. I'm. It's tempting for me to forget myself half the time, right? But
Yeah,
this
but
is
the collaboration, the ups and downs. I want to
exactly.
remember the book for all the ups and downs, for all the
No, this is,
learning process,
you
for
tell
the
them, Prof. You
networking.
tell them.
Yeah.
Now, Cyrus, I miss you in the studio today. I was hoping you're going to join us, but no problem. So join us for the next one for sure. So mine and Paul's show, the Go Get It University
Yes,
is
Lord.
it
Go
was
get it, university. Say it
it
with your
was
chest out.
yesterday, so it's a couple of weeks away. But do connect, my friends. Do connect.
All
Thank you so
right.
much for joining us. Hey, look, if you have an event, please send me a DM with a link to your event.
All right.
I really appreciate that.
Oh,
Enjoy your
when is
evening,
my?
Wednesday evening, my friends. Enjoy. You take care. Thank you so much. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Thank you. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye. Thank you.
And he sees you. He sees you. He sees you. Oh, from the children with no voice in borrowed rooms to the magazines that carry their truth. 25 years of the same steady hand, finding the ones who fell through the cracks of the plan. From Mitcham to Croydon,